Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of our game against AC Milan in the Europa League round of 16 first leg. So, Solskjaer give us an update on Marcus Rashford. He's also give us an update on Edinson Cavani. Solskjaer's also reacted to us appointing John Murtough in as our new director of football, and he's reacted to Fletcher's appointment because he's now the technical director. He mentioned a few other things. Harry Maguire was alongside Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the press conference. So we'll get into the questions in a bit. Marcus Rashford is out for this game. Marcus Rashford sustained an ankle injury in our 2-0 win against Man City. Now, Rashford did have the scan on his ankle. It actually revealed that there was no ligament damage on his ankle. It was just bruised and swollen. Could be missing the next 2 games, could Marcus Rashford. So that's going to be a blow for us. Now, Edinson Cavani, he's not available for this game against AC Milan. Edinson Cavani has missed 5 of our last 6 games. Cavani didn't play any part against Man City. Solskjaer says that Edinson Cavani's future has not yet been decided. Edinson Cavani's come out and said he's proud to wear the Man United shirt. Edinson Cavani's father has come out and said that Edinson Cavani is unhappy at the club and he's not comfortable in England. Reports from Argentina said that Cavani has decided to leave Manchester United after just a season. And apparently he's rejected the contract extension because we do have an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Apparently it said Cavani wants to join Boca Juniors, so he wants to go back to South America and he wants to sign a 3-year contract. You know, Cavani has made a fantastic impact since he's come in. He scored some good goals, he can create chances, his hold-up play is very, very good, and his movement in and out of the box is good. Earlier on this season, it actually said Cavani wanted to stay at Man United beyond this season, and Solskjaer said he was set for contract extension talks. We got him on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. Donny van der Beek, he's not available for this game. He's got a muscle injury. Maybe Donny van der Beek wouldn't have played any part anyway, even if he had been available, because he's played nowhere near as much as I expected. You know, most of his appearances have come from the bench. Van der Beek has only started 2 games in the league this season. Solskjaer said earlier on this season that Donny van der Beek is unhappy at the club because of his lack of game time, but he's promised him more game time at Man United. Paul Pogba, he's not available for this game. He's still got a thigh injury. The last game Paul Pogba played was the 3-3 draw with Everton. Solskjaer the other week set a new return date for Paul Pogba. He said he's hopeful that he will return before the March international break. But he is a big miss because we do lack creativity in that midfield without him. Earlier on this season, Pogba had an ankle injury and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Paul Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him. He endured 4 very good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United, and PSG have been in for him. Said a few weeks ago we revealed our asking price for Pogba. It was £100 million. The narratives came out not so long ago saying that Paul Pogba is open to staying at Man United after making a transfer U-turn, and he's willing to discuss a new contract. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. And Solskjaer suggested earlier on this season that Paul Pogba could sign a new contract because he revealed that he is happy at the club. Juan Mata, he's still out. Juan Mata doesn't get in the team anyway. Phil Jones, he's still out. He's been out with injury for over a year. De Gea is still out due to personal reasons. So obviously Dean Henderson will be in goal. So we'll get into the questions anyway fully that Solskjaer was asked, and I'll give you his responses to them. So, this was one of the questions. Has FA ban from early in the season prompted Cavani unrest? Ollie's response to that was, I can't comment on what has been said. I can only say that we are very pleased with Edison when he is here, day in, day out. He's proven his personality, his professionalism. He's really helping the young kids as we wanted him to. He will make his decision. He knows we are very fond of what he has given to the club, even if he has played less than he wanted to. So that was Solskjaer's response to that. This is regarding Darren Fletcher. What qualities does Darren Fletcher bring? So Ollie's response to that was, a few months back when we were making a final decision, there were other things in pipeline for Fletcher. One thing I was sure of was we couldn't lose Darren. He has got fresh ideas. He has a bright eye for football, a real keen eye. Now, a little bit less coaching and more influence on the other side. Go speak to players and sell Man United as a club he knows. So that's a fair response from Ollie regarding Fletcher. This was another question. How will restructure affect transfer plans? Ollie's response was, of course, everyone in world of football has been affected by the pandemic. It will be an interesting window. The process of our recruitment is still going to be the same with new roles. Work we have been doing for years now anyway. The communication is very good and we are always looking to add quality to the squad. So that's Ollie's response to that. This was another one. Will you watch United versus Salford in the FA Youth Cup tonight? Solskjaer said, I'll be watching, of course. We are always looking to see if anyone has got that extra little. My focus on tomorrow, but for 2 hours we'll enjoy the kids. This was another one, relishing AC Milan tie. Solskjaer said, ultimate admiration for AC Milan, tradition, history, quality, absolute class act. So like I mentioned earlier, I've already given you news on the team. And Solskjaer said, I'm not sure if anyone will be back. David, no. Donny, no. Juan, no. Edison, maybe Rashford, no. Similar side to Sunday. But as I said to you, Rashford is probably not going to be available for tomorrow. This is Solskjaer on the Haaland record. It probably wasn't proper Champions League qualifier. I've been told so much about records and stats, but I don't look back on it. My focus is to get better. I will gladly give away all my records to improve what I'm doing now. So that was Solskjaer on that. And reaction to Haaland record, it was just a matter of time before he scored more goals than me in the Champions League. Not many more superlatives to use. Whatever I want to say, I will say in Norwegian directly to him. And as you all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to sign Erling Haaland. It would be good to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reunite with the player. Solskjaer knows the player well because Solskjaer was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde. Now, Solskjaer said earlier on this season that he's following Erling Haaland's progress. He said prior to the game against Real Sociedad that he's keeping in touch with Haaland. He's our number one transfer priority. You know, back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went up to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. There's been a lot of clubs that have been interested in him, you know. We're interested, Chelsea have been interested. Recent narratives said Chelsea are confident they can get him. Says they was willing to offer him a financial package. But it said Haaland wasn't interested in going to Chelsea. Liverpool have been interested. Man City have been interested. Sky Sports recently said that Bayern Munich have refused to rule a move out. You know, if Dortmund will demand in the excess of £100 million this summer if they are to sell Haaland. Next year he will be available for £68 million because that's when his release clause becomes active. But since Haaland's arrival at Dortmund, he's been a revelation. He's been with them over a year now. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him and he has got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. So there you go. So this was another question. How much would a trophy improve mentality? So Ollie's response to that was, for a team, when you win something, it does something to you towards the end of my career. Nemanja and Patrice's first trophy was a League Cup win. It spurred us on to win the league the following season. Last season was a bitter pill to swallow with 3 semi-final losses. So that's Ollie's response to that. And yeah, it's very, very imperative that Solskjaer gets his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. He's not yet won a trophy at Manchester United and he's been Man United manager over 2 years. And I've already said Solskjaer needs to win a trophy at Man United to avoid the sack. You know, a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. The Europa League is a chance of a trophy and the FA Cup is a chance of a trophy. We know we're not going to win the Premier League this season. We're too far behind. Top 4 is our aim in the league and I can almost assure now we'll finish in the top 4. If I can go further down to the next one. Wait there a second. So wait there a second. I think that's it. Is that it from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? So wait there a second. See if I've gone through all questions. I think I might have done from Solskjaer actually. It's just gone off. Let's have a look. Just wait there. Bear with me a moment. So yeah, they are the questions that were asked to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and there his responses. Obviously, Maguire was asked quite a few questions as well during the press conference, gave quite a few responses, but I won't bother going into what Harry Maguire said. But this will be a pretty tough game against AC Milan. You know, AC Milan are a pretty good team. They're sitting second in Serie A. This is going to be the first encounter between Man United and AC Milan in 11 years. We've played AC Milan on 10 occasions. There's been 5 wins apiece. We played them in the last 16 of the Champions League back in the 2009-10 season. We did beat them 4-0 at Old Trafford, and we're beating them 3-2 at the San Siro. So overall it was 7-2 on aggregate. AC Milan's last win at Old Trafford was back in the 2004-5 season. We progressed to the last 16 by obviously beating Real Sociedad in the previous round 4-0. AC Milan progressed to the last 16 by beating Red Star in the previous round. We're coming into this game with a lot of confidence because we recently had a very, very good win against Man City, beating them 2-0 at the Etihad. The result wasn't only good, the performance was very, very good, and we should have won by more than 2 goals. You know, obviously the goals came from Bruno Fernandes from the penalty spot, and the second goal came from Luke Shaw. He's an unlikely goal scorer. But yeah, we ended Man City's 21-game winning run, and we are now unbeaten in our last 22 Premier League away games. So we've got a fantastic away record. Solskjaer did admit after that game we are still too far behind City to be in the title race. AC Milan, their current manager is Stefano Pioli. He's been AC Milan manager since October 2019. So yeah, he's been AC Milan manager now over a year. Obviously AC Milan have got Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You know, he's a former Manchester United player. You know, Ibrahimovic was very, very good when we had him, but obviously he got a bad injury with us, and that's what ruined his Man United career. At the time we got Ibrahimovic, we got him on a free from PSG. I haven't really watched him a lot, AC Milan. I think he's been out with injury recently. Stefano Pioli is hopeful that Zlatan Ibrahimovic will be available for this game. It'll be good to see him reunite with Man United. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, we've inquired about his availability before, but he's been out with injury recently. Ben Ese, he's another player that's been out with injury. Rebic, he's another player that's been out with injury. Theo Hernandez, he recently sustained an injury as well. AC Milan have got a very good goalkeeper in Donnarumma. You know, we're looking at Donnarumma as a possible replacement for David De Gea. They've also got Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot is on loan at AC Milan from Man United. I think he'll be able to play in this game. The second leg against AC Milan at the San Siro is on the 18th of March. Our next league game is West Ham on Sunday, and that will be a pretty tough game. But like I say, this year's summer transfer window is the biggest in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, because we do need to make signings. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer. A new centre-back and a new forward are the 2 priorities. Don't forget, Solskjaer sent a transfer message to Man United fans saying we may not be very active in the summer transfer window due to the pandemic, but he said that he's only interested in bringing in players that would be a perfect fit for the club. I'm expecting Solskjaer now to get the backing he wants in the summer transfer window. Obviously, it's good news that we've appointed our first director of footballing in John Murtough. You know, he's been at United around 7 years, so he actually knows the culture of the club. I said we needed to get a director of footballing. Because I said, didn't I, that's one of the structural changes that we need at the club. We was in for a director of football for quite a long time. Solskjaer's obviously not been backed enough so far. You know, in the transfer windows he's endured. Solskjaer's endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. And he's spent around £260 million. Yeah, he's made good signings, but obviously hasn't got all the players that I wanted to recommend in as yet. Don't forget though, Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ollie, and he did say towards the end of last year he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. Even when we was enjoying them really bad periods, you know, Woodward come out and assured that Solskjaer's job was safe. But definitely the board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. But yeah, there has been quite a lot of players on our agenda. We're also going to offload players in the summer. So in that aspect, we'll generate money and it'll help us with our rebuilding process. Like I said, there's a good chance Mata will leave in the summer. We could offload Matic in the summer because he isn't one of our first choice midfielders. I want Jones to leave. I want Romero to leave. You know, could Pogba still leave the club in the summer? You know, a lot of United fans are saying we should sell Anthony Martial in the summer, but he put a good performance out against Man City to his credit. So if he can persist them performances, then I'll change my perception on him. You know, same sort of thing with Victor Lindelof. And as you all know, we are willing to listen to offers for David De Gea. Says we could sell him in the summer so we can make Dean Henderson our #1 goalkeeper. I think De Gea is valued at £50 million. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer warned De Gea that his #1 jersey is under threat. The Sun recently said that De Gea is wanted by PSG because Pochettino's looking for a #1 to replace Keylor Navas. De Gea has 2 years left on his Man United contract and he's on £375,000 a week. This is De Gea's 10th season he's at the club, so he has been a long servant. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. But like I said, Solskjaer has been facing a goalkeeping dilemma. Dean Henderson should be our #1 because he's reliable enough to become our #1 and he has got that experience behind him. Solskjaer thinks here to stay because Man United are set to hand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a new 3-year contract, is it? Earlier on this season, it said Solskjaer's future was in doubt because he admitted that nobody had spoke to him over a new contract. But he said we will wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer. He's into the final 18 months of his current contract. Woodward's recent statement said that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season has been clear. So in that aspect, the board are backing Solskjaer. Don't forget our net debt had risen up to £455.5 million. I don't think Solskjaer is a long-term manager for Man United, but I think he does deserve at least another season at the football club. You know, this is his second full season at Man United, and I've said to you, haven't I, if we can finish second this season and win a trophy, that'll represent a good season for Man United, and that will give us something to build on going on into next season. You know, a lot of United fans have been demanding Ollie out, and a lot of United fans have criticised Solskjaer. There's obviously explanations behind it, but when we have been inconsistent, yes, some of the blame stemmed from Ollie, but not all of the blame stems from Ollie, you know? You know, we have enjoyed very, very bad periods under Solskjaer where he could turn around and say, yeah, he was lucky not to be sacked. But our board have got a soft stance on him. The concerns about Ollie hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, and his decision making does concern me, because in a lot of his games at Man United he's been tactically naive, but there's been some games where he's showed tactical flexibility, but he's got to show tactical flexibility persistently. And I like the way he approached the game against Man City, Solskjaer, so I've got to credit him in that aspect, because I didn't expect him to approach the game as he did. Because in a lot of the big games this season, we've obviously been poor, and Solskjaer hasn't approached a lot of them correctly. Solskjaer did recently make a patience plea, saying that Man United need more time. But we've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in quite a few aspects, you know. Second in the league. At one point he got us top of the league. Winning the FA Cup quarter-finals. Winning the Europa League last 16. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Lost 2-0 to City. You know, Solskjaer's brought some good players in. I also like the way he has promoted the youth. He's got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended in. Did well last season in his first full season at the club. And we've had periods where we've seen consistency. We've had periods where Solskjaer's got the best out of the team in some games, and Solskjaer's improved certain players. So yeah, and we appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Jose Mourinho. A lot of United fans have been saying we're giving the job too soon. You know, maybe we should have waited until the end of that season to decide or not whether to give him the job. But I've probably got to say, Ollie's the best manager since Ferguson. You know, we sacked 3 managers since Ferguson retired, and that was David Moyes, sacked him after 10 months, sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. Mistakes have been made by Man United since Ferguson retired, and that's one of the main explanations why we haven't been as consistent as we would love to be. So there you go. I don't see us winning the title under Ole. I hope I'm proven wrong. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Let's put into the equation, you know, Solskjaer's inheriting players from other managerial eras. But he's got rid of quite a few players, Solskjaer, who Mourinho brought in. A lot of the players Van Gaal brought in are no longer here, but there's still some here from the Louis Van Gaal era. Obviously, Solskjaer got rid of one of Moyes' players, and that was Fellaini. Obviously, Matt's still at the club. So, yeah. Earlier on today, I give you the news on Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is refusing to sign a new contract until he has assurances about the club's transfer plans. We've offered to double his wages to £200,000 a week. And I think it's a 5-year contract we've offered him. So yeah, mate, could Bruno Fernandes leave the club in the next 18 months? But to be honest with you, we have extended a lot of players' contracts since Ole came in. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.